12 by 12. Uncheck facing pages. Margins 0. And the bleed is 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And if you want to, you can name this file right now, grc30 underscore 250505. Happy Cinco de Mayo, y'all. LECT, and then your last name, first initial. One weird thing is that we're going to be turning this file in to multiple assignments. So rather than have you name this thing, how do we do this? So at the very end of this, do one more underscore, and we're going to just type pages. Okay? So grc30 250505, let last name, first initial, and then pages. Because we're going to do 4 separate lectures today, we're going to turn in a file for each of those. So this one's going to be called pages. All right, go ahead and click create. And if you didn't get that, go ahead and do file save now and then get the name correctly. grc30 250505 LECT, last name, first initial, pages. And we should have our layers panel, our pages panel visible. If not, go to Window and Pages, bring it up. Everyone with us? So far, so good. All right. So we're going to add another page. So we have a second page. And then in the Pages panel options, the little hamburger icon menu there, we're going to click on that guy. Right, that one right there. And we're going to choose or uncheck Allow Document Pages to Shuffle. Now, what we're doing is we're telling it, don't reshuffle the pages. Now, what shuffling pages means is that when you have more than two pages, you can rearrange those pages. And so, or even with 2 pages, you can put page 1 in front of, after page 2, and then page 2 becomes page 1, and page 1 becomes page 2, and it keeps that arrangement of the pages. But we want to be able to do something, and we've done this before, so we want to bring this up to the right of that page. So we want to select page 2, and bring it up to the right of page 1. You see that little bracket that shows up to the right of page 1? When you see that gray bracket, go ahead and let go. And now you see these pages are side by side, much like a spread, but it's not showing the spread indicator because the spreads are not enabled. All right, let's create another page. So hit that plus sign. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drag this one up to the right of page 2. So we have 3 pages side by side. Now, this is the layout for what is commonly called a Z-fold brochure. which looks like this. Letter Z. Is that Z from your side? Yeah, that's how you draw Z. Is that backwards?
It's backwards. Maybe I'm backwards.
Is that right?
No, you're right.
I think you had it right the first time.
Cindy.
You had it right.
Thank you. You're messing with me. All right. This is called a Z-fold brochure because it looks like a Z. Imagine this is our first page of our Z-fold brochure. We give this to someone, and then they can open this up, and they've got 3 panels, and then you can flip it over. Here's our front cover again, and we have the 2 panels on the left. We can also do something that's called a gatefold, where this gets folded inside, and this gets folded over the top. You've probably seen them more along this shape here, where this is a micro version of what you've seen, but it's a gatefold brochure that's, telling you about upcoming events. Come to CNAC, right? They've got one of these, and then you can open up the front, and then you see this inside, and then you can open this guy up, and then we've got content on the inside and content in the back. That's called gatefold. There's quite a few different versions. So, concertina fold, sorry. I've always called it a Z fold. I'm going to still call it a Z fold. Easier to remember. 6-page standard gatefold. And then we have what's called an 8-page gatefold, which is the same gatefold, but we do this with it. No, I did that wrong. There we go. Okay. So this is an 8-page gatefold. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. We accomplish these either by creating one gigantic page that's this eventual size laid out or flattened that we need to get, or we can individually lay out each panel of this folded piece as an individual page in InDesign. So if we're working with this 6-page concertina Z-fold or standard gatefold, this we could say would be our inside. And then with all 3 of these pages selected, if they're not, if yours are white like mine are here, if you click that little triangle right there, it will select all 3 of those pages. And then you can click them, and this is thanks to Cindy. Once again, I gotta give Cindy props for this. So click and drag this down to that plus sign, and it will create the backside of our layout. All right, let's save our work before we get too crazy. And what if we wanted to design something like this? We wanted to see how our content flowed across the spread. Imagine this is all one sheet of paper. Could we do something like this in InDesign? Or maybe we're creating the top of a box. This is the box. This is going to go over a box that's underneath it, and we're going to print around all 4 sides and the top. Can we do that in InDesign? We absolutely can. So I'm going to create a new page. That's interesting. I'm going to reposition that one. So if yours stole one of, oh, it's because I had page 4 selected, or 5 selected. When I created a new page, it split that spread. So make sure your last page is selected, page 6 is selected before you hit that plus sign. But if it does that weird thing and splits it up, just drag it back into place. Okay, so we have this page 7. I'm going to click and I'm going to add another page. So we're going to have one on top and one down below. Now, we can't just drag page 7 and expect to place it above or below this layout because it just won't work like that. We have to use a tool that's very rarely used in this class, and it's called the page tool. So over here on our toolbar, it's the third one down. It looks like a page, and then there's a little pointer connected to it. I'm going to click on that. Now, as soon as I do that, the page that I have selected has these weird, like marshmallow handles around the corners and sides. This is how we can manually adjust things like the page size if we want to. We can also set dimensions up in the properties panel that shows up only when we have the pages panel engaged and a page selected. But more importantly, if I hit Command minus and zoom out about 4 or 5 clicks, I can grab this page here, page 7, and watch me do this here. And I'm going to click and I'm going to drag this up. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Page. We need to put page 7 up there next to the 1-3 spread. There we go. So we need to have upside down pyramid like that. Sorry. It needs to be part of that grouping before we can use the page tool. Apologies. So now I can use the page tool and I can grab that last page and I can slide this right below that guy. All right, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to grab page 8. I'm going to drag it to the end of the 1-4 now spread. And then with the page tool, and drag it into place. And you'll notice that you can be off. Like it doesn't really snap into place. It's very fine. Once you get really, really close, that's when you see that snapping gauge. But anywhere else, it'll let you do that. It'll even let you overlay pages as well. But that's what we're looking for right there. All right. Okay.
But it's just that, what you did when you.
So on the pages panel, over here, we're going to drag that up there. We'll do, while we're here, okay, hit Command minus to zoom out of it a couple times. One more, there we go. All right, now with our pages tool, or page tool, now I can grab this one and that one and that one. There you go. Oh. How's everybody doing? We got a big plus sign. Awesome. This side, this side, this side. Cool. Now let's say our box, we want the box to be not square. Let's say the sides of our box are going to be half the size as the size of the top of our box. With our page tool, I want you to select one of the sides. Let's work with the top one first. And we're going to, up here in the properties for that selected page, I'm going to type in 6. And I'm going to go around to each box side or page. And the top and the bottom, I'm going to set the height to 6. And the left and the right, I'm going to change the width to 6. And now we've separated these two sides, so I'll just, with the page tool, drag them back into place. All right, let's save our work. All right, everyone have a smaller plus like mine. Cool. Cindy, how you doing? So the top ones, you should set the height to 6 inches, not the width. And the left and the right one, we want to set the width to 6 inches. Okay, so select, just click on one of those there. Let's go to click drop down Essentials and then Essentials Classic. Okay, so type 6 up here. Got it. Cool. 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 Thank you very much. Okay, so the ones that are so that one we want 6 inches high. So I'm going to go ahead and type 6 there and enter. Okay, let's put this one here. Let's do 12 and then 6 in the height. There you go. Now let's select this one. So the ones on the side, we want to make them 6 inches wide. So now here we're going to do 6 in the width. There we go. And grab that last one. 6. Okay. Now all you need to do is drag this one over so it connects to the rest of them. Got it. So you're working. Okay, cool. Cindy, good? All right, awesome. And you'll notice over in the Pages panel, it doesn't look like this. Our shape is not honored because it looks like it is, or it has to keep the pages in order somehow. Even if placement is awkward. Like right now, page 4 is this one right here. Page 5 is that one up there. Page 2 is the center. Page 1 is the one on the left, and page 3 is this panel on the right. And I know that's funky, but when this gets printed and we tell it to print with spreads, it will look just like that. And when we print without spreads, it will print each individual page, or each individual page here in the file as its own page in the PDF. And there may be scenarios where we want to print this all as one piece. Maybe we're doing a presentation, we want to show what the finished product looks like. But at any rate, let's go ahead and let's add some content to this so we can see what that looks like. So what I want you to do is I want you to create, oh, not that, don't do that. I want you to select, in my case, it's page 2. Find out which is the center page. And if you need to, you can use the page tool and then just click on one of the panels and you can see which page it is. And so there it is right there. For me, it's page 2. And then I'm going to go back to my selection tool and I'm going to use my guide creator. So I'm going to go to Layout, Create Guides, and I want 3 rows and 3 columns, and I want to fit it to the page, and I want a gutter of 0 on both.
You said 3 rows, 3 columns?
3 rows and 3 columns.
Gutter of 0.
And gutter of 0 on both. And so it did exactly what we told it to, but the squares on the side panels are not squares, they are rectangles. That's okay. I want you to get rid of the 2 guides that make up the row when you're looking at that from the side. So make yours look like that. Select the guide and delete it. Delete what you don't need. All right, now with our rectangle tool, I want to create some boxes. Ah, damn it. And then on the sides, I want you to match up in those columns the colors on the top of the box. There it is. All right, now, what I want you to do is save your work, export this as a PDF. So when you export this to print, Adobe PDF print, make sure that you export as spreads. I'm so sorry. Yeah, export as spreads. So your final document should have 2 pages, one that looks like this plus sign that we created, and then the 3-page empty spread.